What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and gently use your chin to hit the like button, just like this. Just like that. Use your chin, hit that like button with your chin. I need new and creative ways for you guys to do it. As you probably know, while I lower my seat here, I'm giving away $5,000. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and hit the link right down below to enter 10 prizes of $500 each in Bitcoin and Ethereum when I hit 100K subscribers. I want to give back to this community that's given so much to me, and we're getting so close to that very arbitrary number of 100,000 subscribers. Now, guys, as I mentioned in the introduction, Ethereum looking really, really good. And you might remember that I said it looked a lot like Bitcoin did before the move and that it was likely to go up right after Bitcoin consolidated. That is what has happened thus far. Someone just told me they broke their mouse chinning the like button. You're supposed to do it lightly. You don't have to chin hard. I didn't say headbang. I just said, lightly chin it. But guys, we're going to go ahead and dig in right now to all of the news and charts. So without further ado, here we go. As you can see, it's not me saying 5,000. 8 million Ethereum out of circulation points to a supply shock. Supply shock obviously means when there's a reduction in supply and demand is either equal or increasing, the price has to go up. The most basic concepts of economics, right? When demand outweighs supply, number go up. But here's where that supply shock is coming from. $28.8 billion worth of Ethereum has been put out of circulation through the ETH 2.0 deposit contract and EIP 1559. How'd that happen? Well, about 28 billion of that, by far the bulk of it, has been staked in the ETH 2.0 smart contract, and $1 billion in just a few weeks has been burned because of EIP 1559, right? When the gas fees increase now, when there's more action on the network, we see more Ethereum burn. That's largely a result of DeFi and, of course, people aping their faces off into NFTs. But also in that same amount of time, you can see the metrics here. We have also seen a massive supply reduction over the last months on cryptocurrency exchanges. The number of tokens available on trading platforms has plummeted to a 3-year low of 19.45 million ETH. Meanwhile, the supply outside of these financial entities has reached a new all-time high of 98.31. So the supply off of exchanges is an all-time high. The supply on exchanges is at a 3-year low, guys. Price should go up. And my friends at Into the Block down here using their indicators show that basically we have a very strong demand floor now based on where wallets have purchased Ethereum and absolutely no resistance up to 5,000 using those on-chain metrics. I want to ask you guys, go ahead in the comments, make your wildest, or just your conservative price guess for where Ethereum will be at the end of the year. And if you think Ethereum can actually flip Bitcoin, while you guys discuss that over there, I'm going to dig into the charts. As I said here, guys, we had this descending resistance on decreasing volume. This looked like a move up. I had you guys trading ETH Bitcoin down here, right in this demand zone. I said we had a wedge. People were freaking out. This was during the correction. Absolutely mooned against Bitcoin. This is the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. And then I said, listen, we're consolidating here. Well, now we seem to be breaking out. Once again, we should be targeting the top of this channel, 0.082400. Of course, when you zoom out, this is just the beginning, right? We had the macro breakout of descending resistance. This is when the downtrend ended April of 21. So eventually this should target this, flip it, and head all the way up to the top of that channel. It's crazy. I know it's crazy, but that's what it looks like is going to happen. So listen, this is what I was saying just, I don't know, yesterday in the last 2-3 days, that Ethereum looked just like Bitcoin, bullish divergence with RSI on the 4-hour chart coming out of oversold, my favorite indicator. We had just tested the top of this range. Price was in this range from May 19th, came back, tested it, bullish. People were panicking. I was telling you this was support. I even went long, as you know, on Bitcoin and the same idea. And then we had this same line on Bitcoin, which was finally broken, yesterday, tested as support. And now we've gone right up from 33.80 or so to 36.50 at this line. Now we're back at resistance. Want to flip that. But if you go out to the daily chart here, I mean, this is resistance here. Maybe you have some resistance here around 4,000, but really it's clear skies up to about 4,400 because of this major drop. So I don't see any major resistance if we can flip this whole area right here. And above that, 5,000 is nothing because we'd be in price discovery. And as you know, once you head into price discovery, sky is the limit. That's the kind of setups I've been sharing over and over and over again with people. They've been working over and over again for right now. If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. And think of the summers of the past. Adjust the bass and let the Alpine blast. Pop in my CD and let it run a rhyme and put your car on cruise and lay back because it's the summertime. Sorry, I had to go a little Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince on you there. Ethereum's founder, Vitalik Buterin, named to Time Magazine's most influential list. What's really cool is that Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian wrote up the piece. Basically, it focuses on the fact that he's a builder's builder, right? He builds things that allows people to build even better things on top of. An absolute genius. And really, all of DeFi trails back to his idea and his ability to have built Ethereum in the first place. Really, really cool to see all that's being built on Ethereum and to see him get this much notoriety for it. I mean, this is a huge deal. Most influential list, just 100 people. You can see it actually right here. Vitalik Buterin, the 100 most influential people of 2021. What do you think? Think that's fair? I absolutely think so. I'm a huge fan of Vitalik and of Ethereum, and I think he's built something that absolutely will and has changed the world. Let's move on to Bitcoin. Market wrap. Bitcoin rises as traders accumulate positions. Sentiment is improving as traders eye positive technical indicators. Now, here we are on CoinDesk. As you can see, the 4-hour bullish divergence on the relative strength index has been confirmed, indicating short-term continuation to the upside. RSI is now overbought on the 4-hour chart, suggesting that buyers could struggle ahead. We'll take a look at that in a second. But man, I was screaming about this oversold bullish divergence for ages, was I not? Yes, I was. So digging in, listen, we have options expiry on September 24th. That's still 8 days away. I don't think people are thinking about that. That's what we usually panic about. We, not being me, but what people seem to panic about coming into the expiration. We do tend to see volatility, but then price rise after those expirations. And of course, Bitcoin's golden cross. I've discussed it a lot. And I have to agree with James Butterfield. What a cool name. James Butterfield. He's cousins with Margarine Phil. An investment strategist at CoinShares warned in a LinkedIn post that traders should be cautious when pundits refer to the golden cross pattern as a bullish technical signal. The indicator hasn't been a consistent predictor of positive returns. Well, we'll take a look at that. Why has it not been a predictor of positive returns? Because it's a lagging indicator, right? Talk about this all the time. 50 MA is going up here and crossing because price bounced from 30,000, not because price is going to go up, right? If you were trading this death cross right here that there's so much panic about, well, all that led to is more accumulation and price going up. This is a bad trade if you were long-term looking for lower prices, and people were using this death cross as an excuse to trade Bitcoin down to $10,000, $5,000. I even think I saw a $3,000 target when Bitcoin was going through that death cross. But it is notable, as I've said before, when you see it interacting with the lines, you usually do get that push up because you have the 50 pushing up the 200 here. So we have seen a nice little pop on that golden cross, but I don't think that that is a huge deal. But always watch the indicators that everyone else is seemingly watching. That's where they're placing their orders. And all a chart is a visualization of human emotion and decision-making so we can see what other people are doing by drawing lines. That's the only reason that we do it. As you know, 4-hour chart broke out, popped above this. Yesterday on the stream, I believe it was in the afternoon, I drew this line, 47,637 right here. That was the high of this entire bounce back from the move down, right? We had this dump from 52,956 down to around here, bounce to there. You always get that reactionary bounce. It's usually about a 50% bounce on the fib. This is one of my favorite trades, actually, is when you catch near a bottom, you get that 50% reactionary bounce. Well, as you can see, every candle since we were here has held that as support. So this, for now, looks like a good entry at 47,637. But if that does not hold, I would be looking for this zone to hold as a test of support and then hopefully head back up. But that really was where this candle closed, this candle opened, and this candle. So 3 4-hour candles in a row have tapped exactly bottomed at that level. Technical analysis is cool. Speaking of the 4-hour RSI, here is that bull div. I mean, to be mentioning it now is kind of dumb because it started, all the way back 9 days ago. But now we do. I would not say that we are overbought. He said we're overbought, but if you zoom in, nope. Only got to 69.56 with overbought hitting 70. But important to note here, if you use it on the way up, you got to use it on the way down as well. We could see some consolidation here because we do very clearly have a very small hidden just bearish divergence here. Did not hit overbought. So for me, I like to short it or sell when we see on overbought, not technically there, but we do have that bearish divergence. This is a higher low slightly, and this is a higher low. So we do not have hidden bullish divergence in sight yet, but I believe that we do actually have it on the 1 hour. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to guess. Yep. Lower low in RSI, higher low in price. So that is a signal that the bearish divergence could be coming to an end. I don't usually go into the hourly, but you can see that we had bearish divergence there as well. Let's dig into some more news. Anti-Bitcoin protests escalate on El Salvador Independence Day. Thousands took to the streets of the nation's capital. Many were protesting against the country's Bitcoin law. To be clear, thousands of people were not protesting against the Bitcoin law. This was a protest against the president because they believe that he's consolidated too much power, that he's taken over the courts, not because of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin was obviously a part of that. And I've talked about this ad nauseum. The fact that El Salvador has accepted Bitcoin as legal tender is one of the biggest things that's ever happened for the Bitcoin community, but we need it to go well. And it's not going to be popular with everyone, right? The whole world is watching, seeing if maybe they will also go take the risk and do this experiment, but they want to see what happens in El Salvador first. So I think it's important to note that it's not all roses. There are going to be people who oppose it both locally and internationally. And there's always the risk that we see, a crash in price or something, that people don't adopt Bitcoin, they don't use it, and the experiment fails. I don't think that will happen, but it's kind of ironic, you could say, if you have a conspiracy tinfoil hat on, that the minute this became legal tender, the price crashed last Tuesday. That was pretty absurd, right? And when you read into it, as you can see, investment banks such as JP Morgan, US officials, and even the World Bank have criticized El Salvador's Bitcoin law, claiming it would be hard to implement. The IMF also jumped in on that train. And when you have those entities against you and see price crash the minute it becomes legal tender, it definitely makes you scratch your head and wonder why that would have happened. But we know American banks alongside the US government and entities like the World Bank and IMF that are effectively controlled by the United States government. When they get together, they tend to make bad things happen in foreign countries. There's a great book by Naomi Klein called The Shock Doctrine that I read probably a decade ago that all of you should read if you're interested in that topic. Really compelling stuff, but very clear that the United States has been behind most regime change and privatizing in Latin America and beyond. Topic for another day. Bitcoin worth $2 billion moves for just 78 cents. An unknown wallet benefited from Bitcoin's low-fee blockchain yesterday with a transaction worth $2 billion. First of all, how many times do you check the address when you're sending $2 billion in Bitcoin? I check the address when I'm sending $100 in Bitcoin, like 3 times. I go through everything, capital, I know you guys do it. We line it up and you make sure that it's right because it's scary. There's no insurance. Nobody's sending it back if you send it to the wrong address. $2 billion, $2 billion. Why didn't they 78 cents? Why don't you just break it up into 100 transactions or something? It seems like that would have been smart, but there are gigachads out there who just flippantly send $2 billion at a time on the Bitcoin network, showing just how trustworthy and secure it is. But for 78 cents, try sending your cousin in Bangladesh $12 via bank wire and see how much it costs you. It costs you like $20 to send that $12. It's basically impossible. And you can send Bitcoin for 78 cents. This is why people are using it for remittances. That's why in a country where the percentage of GDP of remittances is like 35-40%, like El Salvador, that's why Bitcoin is so attractive. You really can send it cheaply in large amounts and know that it will arrive quickly. If you use a bank, it might get there in 2 weeks, if it gets there at all, and you'll pay fees on both sides. It's criminal, it's predatory, and it's wrong. And this is one of the reasons that Bitcoin is superior. This was the hidden gem that I was talking about right now. Not so hidden. Hedera Hashgraph rallies 150% in a week as its ecosystem expands. Listen, Hedera has been hyped from the very beginning, and they've done nothing but deliver ever since. And it's good to see the price rise on that, right? New partnerships, NFT integration, and a market-wide surge in altcoin prices backs HBAR's recent rally. We've seen a lot of rallies on coins. Of course, anytime someone gets into NFTs and it goes well, we're seeing that. But there's real adoption with Hedera Hashgraph here. As you can see, a scroll through the project's Twitter feed shows that the partnership program lured new partners like the London School of Economics and Political Science and the Indian Institute of Technology Madras to the Hedera Governing Council. These are real institutions, huge institutions that are using and partnering with Hedera. And of course, the NFT sales and benefiting from the market generally going up. So let's take a look at what's happening there. You may have noticed today I intended to send my normal paid newsletter, which comes out, 5 days a week. It's $15 a month. And every 2 weeks I send a free one. Well, today I hit the wrong button, tried to take it back, couldn't, and it went out free. So enjoy, as they say in Monopoly, bank error in your favor, $200. I sent a free newsletter today, and this is one of the setups that was in it. Well, guys, it's already going. So even when I just pulled this up, it was at 50 cents about 10 minutes ago. So it's already going. But what I love about this chart, if you take a look, zooming out on the daily here, we're in price discovery, right? And this is what I talk about all the time. This is what we're seeing from coins. When a coin gets into price discovery, meaning it breaks its previous all-time high, it absolutely moons. These were the other, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. These were the other chances to do that, right? We had a long-term high at 0.083 here. Broke out, retested, absolutely mooned up to, well, now 55 cents. We're in price discovery. So it's been ranging basically since March of 21 now. Came down, tested the bottom of the range, support, flipped the EQ. Now it has exited the range on increasing volume. Guys, this is what we want. Exiting the range on increasing volume, right? So if you get that retest, we could consider this coin right here the break and retest, even though it's split that all-time high. This should absolutely pull us to Solana, any of those coins that have gone into price discovery. I can see now that my producer is sending me another article here. I have not read it, but let's see. Hedera Governing Council approves $5 billion in HBAR tokens to boost network adoption. The newly established HBAR Foundation will receive $2.5 billion in tokens. You can see that HBAR has a lot going on. Hedera looking very bullish. I absolutely love this story. Love it. Love it. African cryptocurrency market grows by more than 12 times in the past year. African countries collectively received $105.6 billion worth of cryptocurrency between July 20th and June 2021, a year-on-year increase by more than 12 times. Blockchain Data Platform Chainalysis said in a report, right? And most of this is peer-to-peer because there's difficulty with exchanges. There's laws across all the different countries. This is like BitPay, and local Bitcoins, and my favorite, Paxful. You guys know I love Ray Youssef, and he's been talking about this, screaming about this for a long time. Even while all the El Salvador news was happening, he said, listen, the youth of Nigeria are building an entire financial system themselves, teenagers and 20-year-olds building an entire financial system in Bitcoin outside of the government, and nobody's talking about it. Well, it's very clear that we're seeing real adoption in Africa. But what's notable to me, and it's important to zoom out and realize this, because we get very caught up in the Bitcoin trade, the number going up, value pumping, us making a ton of money in dollars, right? We talk about regulation, institutional adoption, the environment, all of these things that are driving the price or driving interest in first world countries like the United States, when all around the world, Bitcoin is literally changing people's lives because it's a hedge against inflation. It gives them access to banking that they don't have access to at all. Most of the world's population is unbanked or underbanked, and it allows them to get outside of the government predatory systems that exist in their countries. There's people all over the world using Bitcoin as peer-to-peer cash and a way to store value every single day, while we sit here and talk about balding ass Gary Gensler and what he's going to do to the crypto industry in the United States. That is misdirection. It's not nearly as important as the real adoption that's happening on the ground all around the world. Apart from Bitcoin, AMC Theaters to accept ETH, Litecoin, and BCH as payment. CEO says, my God, Bitcoin Cash everywhere. Why? Okay, but great. First of all, I would say nobody wants to spend Bitcoin or Ethereum on a movie ticket, but I would probably spend Bitcoin Cash on a movie ticket because eventually I think the price will go down and it could become a free movie ticket. But either way, interesting to see AMC is adopting more cryptocurrencies, going to be accepting them. We'll see if people actually use it. That's the real question here, right? Are people actually going to spend their crypto? Are they actually going to use it? I have no idea, but they are moving in that direction of accepting more coins. I'm going to take a look at the Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash charts really quick since we just mentioned them in this article, right? Litecoin still struggling at this same resistance after the Walmart fake out, right? Will AMC push it up now that Walmart news was fake? I have no idea, but still not interested right here unless we get a really strong flip of 189, 350, and that would only be targeting 232, eventually going up. Bitcoin Cash doing absolutely nothing on the news, doing nothing, right? So I think this is a pretty sideways, choppy chart. This is ugly. I wouldn't touch it for the moment. Very little to see there. Binance battles regulatory headwinds as world's largest cryptocurrency exchange seeks financial legitimacy. In other words, they're centralizing. We have come to realize that we need a centralized entity to work well with regulators, CEO Xiao Changpeng says. Binance is rebuilding the exchange into a licensed financial institution with centralized headquarters as it attempts to improve ties with regulators. Listen, it's been the wild, wild west. You can't fault Binance for the way that they've operated in the past. Like CZ said, he made a great parallel to the automobile when he talked about building in crypto early. When they first invented the automobile, it obviously had no safety features, didn't have seatbelts, there were no laws. You just YOLO'd out in your Model T and ran over whatever you needed to run over out in the streets. As cars became more popular and as it became necessary, they added regulation to protect people and keep them safe. Well, that's how he views the cryptocurrency industry, right? They started building things. There was nobody to tell them what they could or couldn't do. That wasn't going to stop them from building, obviously. So they continued building, and now they've come to a point where they can't do it anymore because regulators are starting to say no, and they're taking the necessary steps to become compliant. I think it was inevitable that they would become centralized, that they would move their headquarters to one place and become a more legitimate company. Not that they weren't legitimate before, legitimate in the eyes of regulators. And then they will be able to offer the products that they want all over the world. So I don't see this as a bad move. I see it as an inevitable move, as a maturing of the space. Insider trading allegations rock OpenSea. NFT marketplace responds. Nate Chastain, OpenSea's head of products, is at the center of the scandal that emerged on Twitter on Tuesday night. I'm sure you guys have all seen this by now. Basically, Nate Chastain, who's the head of product, was buying NFTs in advance of the drops with insider knowledge and then immediately flipping them for a massive profit to the public after the drop. Really not an ideal situation, and one that clearly OpenSea was not clear of. They did release a statement about it. They said OpenSea team members may not buy or sell from collectors or creators. OpenSea team members are prohibited from using confidential information to purchase or sell. I think that this is a one-time thing. The guy got caught. I'm sure he'll be punished. I'm sure he will be remorseful. And at the end of the day, this is part of a growing industry and something that you can expect to happen. But what's interesting is, this was discovered and outed by a random guy on Twitter, Zuwu TV, excuse me. Didn't mean to call you Zuwu. Hey, OpenSea, why does it appear Nate Chastain has a few secret wallets that appear to buy your front page drops before they're listed, then sells them shortly after the front page hype spike for profits, and then tumbles them back to his main wallet with his punk on it? Right? Guys, blockchain, transparent. Blockchain's transparent. It's public ledger. So you got to be careful where you move things. Someone will eventually see it. And now on to two more small pieces of institutional news. Jump Capital raises $350 million and doubles down on crypto. We just talked about Jump Capital yesterday, a very secretive company. They hired their 25-year-old ex-intern to run their cryptocurrency business in the billions of dollars, which they've secretly been running for 6 years. Well, now they're raising $350 million and doubling down on crypto. As you can see, 40% of those funds will be invested in crypto startups. And with the latest fundraise, the firm is looking to invest heavily in crypto sectors like DeFi, Web3, blockchain, financial applications. Just yet another institution coming in heavily into the crypto space. And you guys may remember I talked about Franklin Templeton last week. I quoted Biggie. Don't be mad, Franklin Templeton is hiring. Don't be mad, UPS is hiring. Well, Franklin Templeton now files for $20 million blockchain venture fund after they were openly hiring big time in the crypto space. This is clearly what they were doing it for. $20 million big blockchain venture fund. They have total assets under management of $1.4 trillion. Yet again, someone else looking to come into crypto with a whole lot of money on the institutional side. You love to see it. Guys, that is all of the news and charts I have for you today. My God, it's exhausting. What a mouthful, but really fun. Did any of you, I didn't even get to see your Ethereum targets, but I will see them. I'm curious, for those of you who are in Ethereum, what did you pay for it? What did you pay for your Ethereum? I'm curious. The first time I bought Ethereum was about $36. $36. And the last time I bought heavily was on the huge dip down to $82. But as you know, I buy Ethereum every single freaking day. I've talked about it before. I do it with Roundly X. They round up my transactions. I 10x them. It buys it on Voyager every single day. 1,500 this March. Okay, I'll take that, man. You doubled up. You more than doubled up. Almost 3 times. $80, man. You guys have some great entry prices here. So listen, I'm going to actually be on Twitter Spaces today. I'll tweet about it with Business Insider talking about layer ones. That should be really exciting. And I'm going to be back. I believe Big Cheds, I didn't know this, Big Cheds asked me to come on his new show at 5:15, 5:30 EDT today, but I believe it's a new show on crypto banter. You know we love, it seems Crypto Banter is adding a new show. Big Cheds is the host, and I will be on that this afternoon, evening, which is really exciting, guys. Remember the giveaway. Again, the newsletter was free today on accident. Freebie, free everything. You can get that right down below if you click on the link. Otherwise, I will see you back here at 9:30 a.m. EDT tomorrow, as well as my show Bullish on Bitcoin tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 p.m. EDT. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know I love you. It's amazing for me to see this channel building and see so many of you showing up. Really flattering and really an honor. I love this community. You guys are the best. Until I see you next time. Peace.
Let's go.